Dramatic finishes, block after block after block. Week 3 didn't hold back. I'm Mike Yam, and here's what we learned.
Oh my God!
The Rams and Eagles give us all the drama with a late-game photo finish. Perhaps all the Eagles' offense needs is a couple of explosive plays to unlock their operation. 2 long passes to A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert. It sparked a quick strike score and a fired-up celebration from Jalen Hurts, injecting some hope and some relief into this team. In the second half, the Eagles mounted 3 more touchdown drives, including Hurts' 4th and goal dot to Devontae Smith that silenced concerns of a stagnant offense. Now, with the game on the line and 3 seconds to go, Jordan Davis, he blocked Joshua Carty's 44-yard attempt to end the Rams' chances. The ensuing return for a touchdown, that was the cherry on top for his stellar day.
The big man looks for the icing on one big cake.
The reigning champs prove they'll fight to the finish and pull off a 33-26 win over the Rams. The Browns stunned the Packers with a late-game blocked field goal that set them up for a game-winning field goal of their own. Cleveland's offense has been dreadful so far this season and remained a painful watch on Sunday, but coming in as the #1 total defense, that unit suffocated Jordan Love and set up a late-scoring chance with Grant Delpit's interception. Now, rookie Quinshon Judkins, he scored the game-tying touchdown before special teams sealed a thriller. Despite kicking woes in their first 2 losses, Andre Schmitz will start this week in an unfamiliar role of local hero.
The kick is good. Andre Schmidt from 55.
The Browns edged past a strong opponent with an important 13-10 win over the Packers. The Jets were down 23-6 to start the 4th, but their improbable comeback was ended by a 3-minute drive led by Baker Mayfield to set up Tampa Bay's game-winning field goal.
McLaughlin's kick right down the middle.
For the 3rd straight week, the Bucs have won at the buzzer. Down 3 starting linemen, the Bucs committed 14 penalties as Baker Mayfield looked for ways to move this team's offense. The defense, though, it delivered in impressive fashion. A Jamel Dean pick-6 and 4 sacks before a late Jet rally.
Jamel Dean, who takes it all the way back for a Bucs touchdown.
Gangrene nearly pulled off the comeback, but it's Baker and the Bucs who advanced to 3-0 after a 29-27 close finish. Tampa Bay is truly going to be tested next week when they host the undefeated reigning Super Bowl champs. Not sure anyone believed the Colts would go 3-0 to start the season, but Daniel Jones has looked confident all along. Shane Steichen continues to call excellent games, and Daniel Jones just keeps executing. Jonathan Taylor, dominant, 102 yards, 3 touchdowns on 17 carries as Indy scored on 6 of 8 possessions with Jones under center. He also made history with 3+ passing touchdowns, 3+ rushing touchdowns, and no giveaways in the first 3 games.
Indiana Jones in the quest for a winning season.
The Colts, they're rolling, silencing the haters after another strong win to start the season. Dicker the kicker sealed the win in Los Angeles as time expired. The Chargers are now 3-0, and Justin Herbert, well, he did much of the heavy lifting to get there. The Broncos generated pressure on a whopping 54.7% of Herbert's dropbacks. That's the highest pressure rate of his career, according to Next Gen Stats, and that led to 5 sacks. Yet that sort of pressure usually leads to ghastly numbers, a trove of errors, and ultimately a loss, but it's Herbert who throws for 300 yards and a touchdown with 1 pick. On the final 2 game-deciding drives, he went 8 of 9 passing for 93 yards and a touchdown. The dude is willing his team to its first 3-0 start in 23 years.
Touchdown! What a play!
The Chargers sit atop of the AFC West with a well-earned 23-20 win over Denver. San Francisco found itself in an old-fashioned division rock fight with Arizona on Sunday. Well, the numbers weren't pretty and each side had its share of blunders, but in the end, it was Mac Jones's mental toughness and San Francisco's experience that won out. Following a crucial stop by the defense late in the 4th quarter, the Niners, they moved downfield quickly, executed Kyle Shanahan's 2-minute offense with a collection of quick completions, capped by a 20-yard screen pass to Christian McCaffrey that set up Eddie Pinheiro for a game-winning field goal from 35 yards out. Remember, they just cut their previous kicker, Jake Moody, and it pays off.
And San Francisco is in first place. They win it at the horn.
Now, less seasoned teams, they fail in these types of scenarios, but not Shanahan's Niners. They run away with a 16-15 win over the Cardinals. The Panthers pull off their first win of the season with a 30-0 shutout over the Falcons. Carolina's defense put the clamps on the Falcons with 11 quarterback pressures and 2 interceptions in the 3 quarters that Penix did play. They even kept Bijan Robinson out of the end zone. On the other side of the ball, Young, he went 16-24 for 121 yards with a reworked offensive line that only gave up 1 sack. While there's still plenty of work to do, this is a big step in the right direction.
Last time the Carolina Panthers had a shutout win was Week 11 of the 2020 season.
Atlanta falls to 1-2 after an upsetting loss over a seemingly beatable opponent. The Commanders hosted the Raiders without their QB1 leading the way, but they proved to be up for the challenge. Making his first start in 3 years, Marcus Mariota did what was asked of him in the Commanders' win, running for 40 yards and scoring twice. Washington, they controlled the game with a ton of contributors and a well-rounded group of Nichols, Rodriguez Jr., and Krosky Merritt, and of course Deebo Samuel. Washington, they can feel better about their situation if Mariota is needed again.
Whoa! Out the door you go for McNichols.
The Commanders advance without Jaden Daniels to 2-1 after a 41-24 win over the Raiders. The Bears finally looked whole against a tough opponent when they hosted the Cowboys at home. Now, this is what a Ben Johnson offense is supposed to look like. Now, the Bears, they mixed in deep shots, trick plays, and a patient, creative run game and had their best offensive performance of the season by a mile. Caleb Williams threw for 298 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he was not sacked in a game for the first time in his career. Johnson, he threw the kitchen sink at the Cowboys, and it worked.
Oh my God. Ben Johnson into his bag of tricks.
The Bears dominated in a 31-14 win over Dallas and are well-positioned to face the Raiders next week. The Jaguars defense, it won the day, holding the Texans to just 10 points in Week 3. The Texans were fortunate to have a shot late in the game, given their continuous struggles on offense, as the C.J. Stroud-led unit managed just 119 yards through 3 quarters before a defensive turnover set up a 50-yard touchdown to Nico Collins. On the offense, it came alive with 152 yards in that final frame, but Collins' fumble and Stroud's second interception sealed an 0-3 start. Now, Stroud's not getting a ton of help, but his costly mistakes, they're holding Houston back.
He may have gotten a piece, and net is picked.
Jags hold on for a 17-10 win over their AFC South rival. It was a battle of the backups, and Carson Wentz won this one, but he did get some help on the other side of the ball. Isaiah Rodgers made it easy on the Player of the Week selector, scoring twice, an 87-yard pick six and a punch-out that he scooped and scored for 66 yards. Even with little to play for over the final 2 quarters, the Vikings D, it gave up only 1 touchdown and gobbled up 4 total sacks. As if their defensive performance wasn't enough, Wentz, he ran Kevin O'Connell's system with poise, spreading the ball to Justin Jefferson, TJ Hockenson, and Jordan Mason, who rumbled for $116 and 2 touchdowns. Minnesota, it delivered its best all-around performance of the season.
The Vikings still steamrolling.
The Vikings pull off a dominant and important win with J.J. McCarthy out, showing promise ahead. Aaron Rodgers moved into 4th place on the NFL's all-time passing touchdowns list, surpassing his former teammate Brett Favre. But it was the Steelers' defense who won the day. It's stunning that the Patriots even had a chance to tie or win the game late, considering how they cared for the ball. They committed 5 turnovers and an unofficial 6th after being stopped on 4th down in the final minute. Now, the last time the Patriots had 5 turnovers in a game, Mike Vrabel was actually on the field for them in 2008. Vrabel knows his team coughed up another one at home, falling to 0-2 at Foxborough.
Stevenson has fumbled again.
The Steelers are now 2-1 with a 21-14 win over the Patriots. The Seahawks hosted the Saints in front of the 12s for a dominant showcase in Week 3. The Seahawks found the end zone on their first 4 possessions of the game, astoundingly doing so on just 15 total plays. Now, they possessed the ball for just 7 minutes, 41 seconds as they entered halftime with a 38-6 lead. Now, despite their limited time on the field, the Seahawks offense, it provided an eye-opening glimpse of their potential. Sam Darnold diced up the Saints efficiently, completing 14 of 18 passes for 218 yards and 2 touchdowns with no interceptions in 3 quarters of play.
And Seattle adds to its lead.
The 44-13 win came at an ideal time, with the Seahawks going into a short week against the Cardinals on Thursday night. The Chiefs faced the Giants to close out Sunday's games, and Mahomes, he was able to lead 2 touchdown drives to earn the victory. The KC won ugly. Russell Wilson had 2 interceptions and a gnarly 19.9 passer rating as Big Blue looked woefully small to the tune of 114 yards through 2 quarters. The biggest takeaway? Chance for rookie first-rounder Jackson Dart to replace Wilson. Now, things didn't get much better in the second half as Wilson was prone to throwing ill-advised moonballs. Dart, he got a few snaps, which is somewhat confounding, but overall, Wilson and the offense, they were running in place. Tick-tock, we wait for Brian Daboll to make the switch to Dart.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
The Chiefs finally get a win, but the Giants fall to 0-3. Once again, I'm Mike Ham. Tune in next week to see what we learned in Week 4.